Now the questions. What are the competency based questions? right? तो questions क्या रहेंगे और होते क्या हैं? What are the competency based questions? Competency based questions are designed to assess a candidate's skills, abilities, and behavioral traits by asking them to provide specific example from their past experience. And let me tell you, ये सारा क्वेश्चन पेपर competency based क्वेश्चन नहीं होने वाला है. Only 40% will be there, right? So we need to prepare our students like that so they can, while sitting in the board exam, they won't face any issue. तो इस लिहाज से होना चाहिए कि विद वी नीड टू प्रिपेयर देम. तो हमें प्रिपेयर करने पड़ेंगे क्वेश्चंस. तो क्वेश्चंस कैसे प्रिपेयर करने होंगे वो अब डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. Focus. They shift the focus from theoretical knowledge to practical application. Some of the questions definitely will be there. In the next slides, I will show you how we're going to do it. कि वो अपनी theoretical knowledge को practical में कैसे apply कर सकता है. पहली चीज जो आनी चाहिए क्वेश्चंस में. सेकेंड है गोल टू प्रिडिक्ट फ्यूचर परफॉर्मेंस बाय एनालाइजिंग पास्ट बिहेवियर. तो गोल ये रहेगा कि वट एवर द प्रीवियस नॉलेज दे आर हैविंग, how they're going to apply that one. We need to know, and with the help of these competency based questions we can easily know that. And if they are not getting, if they are not understanding the your topic, or if they are failing to use that in the real life applications, then definitely we will have to guide them. We need to, again we need to, being a coach, we need to show them how to do it. Method. These questions often start with phrases like tell me about a time when. I'll show you the question, the examples of the question. Describe a situation where, suppose in the current scenario, the flood situation is there. So, being a chief minister, what will be the steps that you can take, right? So instead of saying that, write the steps that have been taken by the government of Punjab to prevent or to help uh, these flood affected people. So instead of that, you can ask them that, if suppose if you are the prime chief minister of Punjab, what are the steps that you will take in order to help these flood affected people? आप क्या करते? तो definitely we will come to know about the thinking of that person. उसकी सोच, वो जो अपनी सोच सोचेगा, instead of कि मैंने 5 पॉइंट बता दिए अब आपको यही बताने हैं. It is not like that. The student definitely will show you his own thinking. उसकी अपनी सोच क्या है इस सिनारियो के बारे में. हो सकता है he himself is an affected person, है ना? तो definitely we will come to know about it also. Okay, let's move to next slide. With the help of these upcoming few slides, I'm going to explain you the difference between the traditional education systems lesson plan and what CBE wanted to uh, see in the lesson plan, especially here. So first of all, it's a lesson plan for Julius Caesar Act 1 Scene 1, right? I didn't took the example of history. ये ज़्यादा आसान था. Uh, Traditional education system, the teacher will deliver a lecture on a historical context of ancient Rome and Roman Republic's transition to empire. The lesson will include a teacher-led reading of the scene, with the teacher explaining difficult vocabulary, allusions. Uh, I won't be able to pronounce this one, but it's a Lupercalia festival. It's a kind of festival which maybe they're having in the Rome. And theatrical devices. Students will expected to take notes. Assessment will be a quiz at the end of the class. So this is a kind of traditional way of preparing lesson plan. In the competency, on the see the difference, right? If we are following it, uh, I hope we are not. But if we are following it, we need to make some changes. See, if you want to bring changes in your students, you need to change yourself also. The lesson focuses on the specific skills of competencies. As I told you that we need to fix the learning outcomes. क्या रहेंगे? What were the learning outcomes? तो ये फोकस करेगा स्पेसिफिक स्किल्स और competencies that students must demonstrate. Students will analyze the scene to identify and explain the motivation of characters. For example, the tribunes Flavius Marulus versus the commoners. The students will then apply this understanding by performing the scene analysis or a short dramatic interpretation. Assessment will be based on a rubric. Uh, what evaluates the student's ability to correctly identify the articulate character. My video is there, sorry for that, but the thing is that mastery of the particular thing and just not memorizing each and every single thing. How they going to grab your lesson, how are they going to grab your topic, and how they can use that one topic in the करंट सिनारियो, वो सारी चीज़ें हमें क्लियर करनी पड़ेगी, वो सारी चीज़ें हमें बतानी पड़ेंगी. मीन्स वी नीड टू गो, वी नीड टू इंटरेक्ट with them, we need to involve the students with us, right? This word rubric, rubric होता है when you see while assessing the students what will be the things that on the ground of which you're going to check them. तो वो जो सारी चीज़ें रहेंगी वो rubric रहेंगी. तो बेसिकली आपको अपना लेसन प्रिपेयर करना ना स्पेसिफिक स्किल्स और कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड इंस्टेड ऑफ जस्ट नॉट जस्ट टीचर लेड रीडिंग सीन. तो वी नीड टू इन्वॉल्व देम, राइट? What we have next, teaching method, primarily teacher centered. The teacher is the sole source of knowledge and instruction is delivered in a whole group setting. The pace of learning is standardized for all students. But in competency-based education, what is here? The student-centered. Students are responsible for their own learning and progress at their own pace. Teachers serve as a facilitator. It didn't mean that we're going to leave them. We can't. We're not going to leave them. हमें उन्हें छोड़ना नहीं है. तो यह है कि भैया आप सीख रहे, you are on your own pace. We have to be there all the time with them. Right? इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि उसे छोड़ दो कि भाई जो तूने सीखना है सीख ले. आज सीखे या परसों सीखे, but सीख ले. But we can't do that one. Providing resources and individualized support as the students work to master each competency. Whatever the competency will be there. For example, आपने उनमें एक competency develop करनी है evaluate करने की. For example, the the behavior of that those characters with the commoners, how they are evaluating it, right? How they are analyzing it, what they have done. Otherwise, means suppose they would have been there, तो उन्होंने क्या किया होता. तो ये competencies जो हैं, we need to check, right? Again, we need to go through that Bloom's taxonomy. Assessment here will be summative assessment, quizzes will be there, tests will be there, are used to measure knowledge acquisition at the end of the unit. Grades are often based on a curve or a point system. Here we are having formative assessment. So definitely summative will be there, but only formative have been written over this. Formative assessments will be there, projects will be there, presentation will be there, and portfolios are used to check the understanding and the learning of a particular student. So how they're going to demonstrate each and every single whatever they learn from this your Julius Caesar Act 1 Scene 1. उन्होंने क्या सीखा, how they going to, how they have grabbed it. तो वो चीज़ें फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट में इजीली आ सकती है. बट द थिंग इज दैट अगेन वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल वाइल प्रिपेयरिंग आवर क्वेश्चंस. तो हम लोग अपने लर्निंग आउटकम को ध्यान में रखते हुए वी विल प्रिपेयर आवर क्वेश्चंस. whatever the projects we are giving them, that has to be good enough so this we can easily check that this is the competency, this is the skill this particular student has developed, or this he has grabbed it, right? So again, your lesson plan and your learning outcome are important. Pacing. Pacing क्या है कि every student work on its own pace. Some are very good learners, some are mediocre. I won't say the bad learners. कोई भी bad learner नहीं, तो that will be a very uh, stupid thing to say, right? All students learn the same content at the same time. The teacher moves onto the next topic once the designated time for the lesson has elapsed, है ना? वो सभी के लिए एक जैसा हो जाता है. So we can't be we can't follow that traditional system of education because every student is has to work on its own pace, right? Here, incompetency is flexible and individualized. A student can move on the next competency only after they have demonstrated a mastery of the current one. जो आपने पढ़ा लिया है, उसके जो learning outcome आपने निकाले थे, if every single student has grabbed it, then we will move to the another topic. So this is a kind of freedom or independence that has to be given to our students in competency based education program. Student का role क्या रहेगा? Earlier, we can't be a sage on the stage. Passive resistance or passive recipient won't be there. That somebody is giving information and others are grabbing it. Some will grab it. Someone won't grab it. So active participation ज़रूरी है, as I told you in the previous slides also, that it is mandatory for of all of us to involve the students in your topics, involve the students in your lesson plan. Some of them are interested in different things. So we need to, while preparing our lesson plan, we need to focus on those students also. Those who are sitting at the back, those who are sitting in between. Definitely, those who are sitting at the front benches, वो तो रहेंगे ही, है ना? But the active participation has to be there. So all depends upon your lesson plan, right? All depends upon the questions that you're going to frame, that you're going to ask them before starting your lesson plan and at the end of the lesson plan. And last but not least, that is learning outcome. वो clear करने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है जी. Next, what we have here. Now this is a questions, different difference between the traditional questions and competency based questions. Same topic, same lesson plan. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे जो फोकस रहेगा, इट विल बी फोकस्ड ऑन रोट मेमोराइजेशन एंड रिकॉल ऑफ फैक्ट्स. सेकंड, फोकस एप्लीकेशन ऑफ नॉलेज, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग एंड एनालिसिस. एग्जाम्पल, who are Flavius and Marulus? I don't know what is the pronunciation of this one. English teacher, sorry for that. What festival is being celebrated by the commoners? What does Flavius order Marulus to do at the end of the scene? Now see, you will see the difference कि competency based question में difference क्या आ जाएगा. Answers वही रहेंगे, but they're going to how you going to ask them, right? So definitely there will be a skill that they're going to develop, right? And they will show you what is that. Suppose uh, analyze the dialogue between Flavius and Marulus and the commoners, and how does their interaction, जब वो एनालाइज करेगा ना तो वो उसे कंपैरिजन करेगा कि हाउ वाज दैट हाउ वाज दैट डायलॉग्स, वो कैसे थे डायलॉग्स, दे वर गुड इनफ, दे वर बैड इनफ. तो सीख क्या पाएगा, हाउ वी कैन इंटरेक्ट विद ईच अदर. इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ स्किल दैट वी कैन डेवलप, है ना? अब सीधा बोल देना कि यार उसने उससे क्या कहा, but instead of saying that, you are asking them, can you analyze that, whatever he said, can you analyze it? So when the moment he will analyze it, he will tell you that these are the words that's spoken by him and this is the answer that was given by him, right? According to me, this has to be like that, right? So that is a kind of competency, that is analyzation. How does their interaction reveal the social and political tension in the room? So then definitely he will see the political situation or social situation of that particular period of that time also, instead of saying that uh, who said to whom. These questions definitely will be there, but a 40% of your question paper will be marked on these sort of questions, so we need to prepare our students like that. Compare and contrast the motivations of the tribunes, Flavius, Marulus, and the commoners. How do their how do their differing perspectives contribute to the central conflict of the play's opening, and evaluate how Shakespeare uses language, that is, puns, rhetorical questions, to establish the mood and the theme of the scene. So this is the difference. Here we are asking straight away whatever we are going to teach them, ना हम जो भी उन्होंने सिखा रहे हैं, जो भी क्वेश्चन हमें दे रहे हैं, उसका हम आंसर दे रहे हैं, एक टाइप्ड आंसर दे रहे हैं. But here definitely we are giving them a chance to think. We are giving them a chance to understand the situation. We are giving them a chance to develop a critical thinking. We are giving them a chance to develop any sort of competency with the help of these questions. See, with the help of these questions, you can bring an amazing changes in your students, right? So that is the basic idea behind CBE. Assessment goal क्या रहेगा? To check if students have read and understood the plot. And here we will check the deeper understanding of the characters and dramatic structure, applying, analyzing the situation. This is the difference, right? Okay, what we have next? How to prepare, another the most important one, how to prepare the competency based question. We need to follow the star method, right? Uh, well, definitely we are getting question paper from the diocese, but I think diocese is also planning to give some of the competency based question in the classes also. So we have to prepare our students like that. So how can we do it? By doing it in the class, by preparing our questions and asking and discussing with the students. To prepare for these questions, you can use the star method. And what is star method? This is a structured way to answer by providing a clear or concise narrative. STAR. First is situation, stimulus is there, or scenario is there that you're going to give them a stimulus. It's a very important thing. We need to give them a stimulus. कि एक line में that the person the person who is going to answer that particular question, he start thinking about that. He become curious, if I know this thing or not, and if I know it, what will be the answer of the question that my teacher is going to ask me. Instead of asking a simple recall question, you create a realistic and detailed situation that presents a problem or a context. One thing again uh, I want to tell you, sorry, कि uh, पूरा क्वेश्चन पेपर ये नहीं होने वाला है. Some of the portion definitely will be according to this competency based questions. तो we need to prepare them accordingly. मतलब इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि uh, every single time we need to do it, but for some topic you can prepare it. For that you need to analyze again, you need to follow the Bloom's taxonomy yourself, कि आप एज ए टीचर ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी को कैसे फॉलो करते हो और आपने कैसे फॉलो करवानी है फ्रॉम द स्टूडेंट्स. फॉर दैट यू नीड टू पिक द टॉपिक्स अकॉर्डिंगली. किस टॉपिक से मुझे एक सिचुएशन या सिनारियो मिल सकता है दैट आई कैन आस्क कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, राइट. First is situation, second is the task, specific problem or goal the students must address. द क्वेश्चन तो टास्क क्या रहेगी, गोल क्या रहेगा, बच्चे के लिए गोल क्या रहेगा, व्हाट विल बी द गोल और टास्क फॉर द स्टूडेंट, कि वो क्या अचीव करता है, वो उसका जो आंसर है वो कहाँ तक है, वो क्या है, व्हाट इज द आंसर, व्हाट हैज टू ही, अगर उसे आंसर करना है कि व्हाट ही विल answer about that one, right? The question should clearly define what student is expected to do within the given situation. A for action, that is, this is what the student must describe in the response. The question should prompt the student to explain the steps they would take to solve the problem. Here, this situation or stimulus will work. तो अगर आपने एक सही स्टिमुलस दिया, अगर सही प्रॉम्प्ट दिया, तो definitely it will be easier for them to answer the answer that you wanted to have from your students. Second, result. This is the outcome or conclusion of the student must reach. The question can ask students to predict a result, justify a solution, or explain the consequences of a particular action. This element pushes students to think about a long-term impact and evaluate the effectiveness of their proposed solution, right? uh, I was watching a video. In that video, the instructor was telling that there could be a competency based question where you're going to ask a student that Mr. Justin went for vacation, but he was having only 300 rupees, right? He went on a vacation and he was on a vacation for 10 days, but he spent his whole money within the 3 days, right? So, how much money he spent on each day, right? Suppose how much money, if he's spending 300 rupees in 3 days, so how much money he has spent, uh, right? In 3 days, कितने पैसे उसने खर्च कर दिए तीन एक दिन में, अगर उसके पास 300 रुपये हैं तो डेफिनेटली वो एक 100 रुपये अगर उसका खर्च करता तो डेफिनेटली ही इज गोइंग टू स्पेंड द होल मनी within 3 days, but he's supposed to be there for the 10 days. So what he will do, right? He can't do anything. But आपका आंसर भी आ गया. But the thing is that what the students will learn, उन्होंने क्या सीखा, that we need to uh, use that money uh, patiently, और क्या कहते हैं ध्यान से खर्च करनी है. How we have to spend if we are under a low budget, we are traveling in a low budget, how we can save our money. This is a skill that they developed with the help of a simple question, right? So next, what do we have here? Evaluating question quality. अब क्वेश्चन की क्वालिटी को आप कैसे measure करोगे? What are the parameters that you have prepared a question and you are under sort of key, if this question is correct or not? How can you check it? First thing first, that fairness. Is the question fair to all candidates regardless of their background, uh, culture cultural background? We need to keep those things. We can't be a biased one, right? uh, ठीक है. अब क्लास में 5 बच्चे काले हैं तो वी कांट आस्क which is the best cream to use to make your complexion fair, है ना? तो वो एक biased क्वेश्चन हो जाएगा, right? It is free of cultural or social bias. Validity. Does the question actually measure the competency it's intended to measure? For example, does a question about a time you handle conflict truly assess your conflict resolution skills? This is the thing that we need to check, right? Reliability. Would the same candidate give a similar answer to a similar question in a different interview? The thing is that he has mastery over the topic that you taught. That if he'll be having a mastery over that topic, definitely wherever he will go or she will go, they will give the same reply. Does the question consistently measure the intended competency? So these are the things that, as a teacher, we need to check while framing our questions, right? Okay, what do we have next? Stimulus and distractor checklist. What are the distractor? This is all about the MCQs, because only in MCQs we are having distractors. One question is correct and the three are the distractors. So what are the things we need to check while framing the MCQ? Part 1, stimulus, that we're going to give them. Clarity. Is the question clear and concise? We can't use a complex vocabulary. ठीक है जी. Relevance. Does it directly relate to the competency based assessed? Means, first of all, we need to know that what will be the learning outcome. So according to that, we need to frame the question also. Bias free. Is the question, again वही बात आ जाती है कि कहीं क्लास में कोई ऐसा बॉडी शेमिंग वाला क्वेश्चन तो नहीं पूछा जा रहा, कोई कल्चरल बैकग्राउंड से रिलेटेड. इफ वी आर नॉट आस्किंग, वी आर सपोज टू आस्क एनी or prepare any question which could come under the cultural bias thing, sort of things, है ना? ये gender bias नहीं होना चाहिए. Engaging. Is the question phrased in a way that is engaging and not distracting to the candidate. Well, yes, easy रहेगा, because definitely we all will stick with our topics, right? वैसे भी हम लोग अपने टॉपिक्स के साथ ही स्टिक करने वाले हैं, तो ये ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं आएगी. स्टिल, if you want to check your, I mean, these are the things that we should follow. Do's or don'ts वाला सिनारियो है ये. Sufficient content. Does the question provide enough context for the candidate to understand what is being asked? uh, that is your stimulus, right? तो क्या वो जो stimulus दिया जा रहा है, the prompt, that the first line that you are giving to your students to think about while before answering your question, is it enough? क्या वो enough है, sufficient है, क्या वो clear है? And if it is clear, then definitely your MCQ is a good one. Second है डिस्ट्रैक्टर, स्टिमुलस एंड डिस्ट्रैक्टर. अगेन ये पार्ट टू है. डिस्ट्रैक्टर कैसे होने चाहिए? पहला तो था कि स्टिमुलस कैसा होना चाहिए, क्लियर होना चाहिए ज़्यादा. देयर शुडंट बी एनी डिफिकल्ट वोकैबुलरी देयर. एंड अब है डिस्ट्रैक्टर कैसे होने चाहिए. अवॉइड क्लूज, टेस्ट वाइज फैक्टर्स. तो हमें क्लूज अवॉइड करने हैं, राइट? Ensure there are no. I'll show you the MCQs, are the examples of MCQs that we're going to discuss. No internal and external clues that point to correct answer, right? The options should stand on their own. Homogeneous options क्या हैं? Make sure all the options are similar in length, structure, and level of detail. Sometime, uh, sometime definitely it will be there, but sometime it won't be possible, है ना? तो but still we need to follow it. Homogeneous options, the length and the structure will be the same one. Avoid making the correct answer stand out. Plausible absurdity. And what is plausible absurdity? uh, Incorrect answer. Ensure all the distractors are plausible and not absurd. Illogical नहीं होने चाहिए. Plausible absurdity means that whatever the distractor is there, जो भी आपने तीन wrong answer दिए हैं वो illogical ना हो. ठीक है? तो that has to be there, right? While framing your multiple choice questions, we have to be very careful about it. Okay, once again, this is a quality checklist. Again, free of irrelevant difficulties. Vocabulary का ध्यान रखना है. ऐसी नहीं हो कि that is out of the planet, right? No, I want to teach these students a lesson, so I will prepare this question like this, right? So please avoid it. Clear and concise language, reader-friendly phrasing, engaging and not distracting. Engage होना चाहिए, distract नहीं होना चाहिए. The question should be direct and to the point. Well, definitely, I told you that we all will stick with our topics. So it will be, if we will stick with our topics, it will be difficult. It will be easier for us while framing the questions. Avoid sensational and overly complex scenario, right? क्या हो सकता है sensational complex scenario? वोट चोरी. That's a complex and sensational scenario while teaching political science. We can't prepare a question. For example, teaching in ninth class, there is a chapter of elections. तो हमने एक क्वेश्चन बना दिया. तो it's a very complex scenario. Some of them will give a different answer. मतलब most of them will definitely will be confused. पहले तो समझ में नहीं आएगा कि है क्या. तो we can't pick topics like those sort of things which are complex and sensational. Sufficient content. The question should provide enough context without giving away the answer. No biased, as I told you. Race bias नहीं होना चाहिए. Gender bias, religion, sexual orientation, and any other protected characteristics. Body shaming, ये भी please हमें ध्यान में रखना है. I know you people are not going to do it. Definitely, we all are enough educated. Quality checklist part 2. No external and internal clues. This part checklist focuses on ensuring the questions are free of test-wise factors that could unintentionally guide the candidate. No external or internal clues. Avoid using language that hints the correct answer. We are not going to prepare such type of questions. Yeah, yes, sometimes these questions are there in the books are given, right? but we need to avoid while preparing these competency based question, and sooner or later definitely they also going to change the scenario. The question should not be a fill in the blank or true or false type while preparing your competency based question. As I told you that there are some questions and which are related to fill in the blanks and true false. So while framing competency based question, avoid true and false, avoid fill in the blanks, है ना? वो चीज को अवॉइड करिए कि जिसका स्ट्रेट अवे आंसर आ जाए, जहाँ पे बच्चे को सोचना ही ना पड़े. द स्टूडेंट नीड नॉट टू थिंक अबाउट इट, नीड नॉट टू थिंक अबाउट द क्वेश्चन. So the basic purpose is to that student must think, student must analyze, evaluate uh, the previous knowledge that he is having or the topic that he grabbed. He must use it while answering the question. So we need to prepare these sort of questions, right? The fill in the blanks and true false are there, but they are not competency based question. Only 40% question will be there in your question paper that are competency based questions. No absurd or extreme options. Absurd again, once again, your illogical things nahi hone chahiye. If the question includes multiple choice options, none of them should be obviously wrong, right? Homogeneous options, all multiple choice options should be of a similar length and grammatical structure to prevent a candidate for guessing based on formatting, right? We have already discussed about it कि वो homogeneous वाला scenario नहीं होना चाहिए while framing all these questions, right? So these are the checklist. While framing the MCQs, we need to check our whatever the question we are preparing, if our question is following the all the principles or the all the points which are given in the checklist or not, right? Okay, what we have next? With the help of upcoming slides, I will try my level best to explain you what is the difference between traditional MCQ and what is the difference between competency-based MCQs. Here you are having one example of competency-based question. This is the uh, stimulus. ये सारा stimulus है where you are giving them a chance to think about it. There is a new online multiplayer game is gaining popularity. In this game, players can customize their characters by giving them special abilities. The game developer is writing a detailed guide for the players. Which sentence from the guide uses a proper noun? So I picked a topic which was noun while framing this question. So noun. So first of all, the student must know what is noun, and according to that, and after reading it, definitely, the one thing definitely will appear in their minds. एक social networking site है. This is also, I think, Snapchat. Yes, Snapchat is there, where you can customize yourself. Right? आप अपनी एक photo यहाँ बना सकते हो. But here, so definitely there will be a chance for them to relate that what sort of game is there, what sort of social networking site, because all of us are on Snapchat, right? So the topic is noun. So the student must answer correctly, and they need to think about it. And this is the competency based question. And on the opposite, here we are having which of the following is an example of proper noun? Here, proper noun. Here also proper noun. Here you have given four different answers. Three are distractors. There is no stimulus here. Nothing is there. Here stimulus is there. Distractors are there. Here uh, three distractors are there and one right answer is there. Right. So difference kya hai? Let's see that. Evaluation. Focus on application. This question asks students to apply their knowledge of proper nouns within a specific relatable context, that is a video game, right? Though they must identify the proper noun by recognizing its function in a sentence, not just in its name, like here, right? It is a high order thinking question. It requires students to analyze different sentences and evaluate which one fits the grammatical rule, demonstrating a higher level of thinking than simple recall. Authentic context है, the scenario about a video game is authentic and engaging for 8th grade audience also, as I told you. So while preparing these questions, we need to see the level of the students also. We need to see for which class we are preparing, and what are their interests. उनका interest किस चीज में है, right? So here he has prepared a question related to noun, but he used that video game, right? The students are very curious to play the video games right now. तो जब कस्टमाइज की बात करने पे आएगी तो डेफिनेटली दे विल स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट, है ना? तो moreover, the grammatic knowledge we will definitely we can easily check. These words ability, adventurers, right? Developer, they are coming under different parts of speech. तो अगर उन्हें parts of speech का पता है, if they know about the parts of speech, they can easily pick the answer. Here straight away we have given, हमने straight away दे दिया है कि girl, city, India, we know that naming words are nouns. Proper noun कौन सा है? फिर India रहेगा answer. But here you are giving them a chance to think, right? Rote memorization, recall, the question only test if a student can recall the definition of a proper noun. As I told you, the naming words are called noun. It does not require any application or critical thinking. Lack of context, the question is a standalone item with no context. It fails to show how a proper noun is used in meaningful sentences, which is a key part of competency based learning. Low level skills, it assesses a low level skills, remembering, analyzing and applying is not there. तो आपने याद कर लिया what is proper noun, and you have definitely uh, remember the examples of proper noun. It will be easier for you to, there was no point to think about it. तो यही है जी फर्क. This is the basic difference. We need to give them a chance to develop their critical thinking, to evaluate the situation, to analyze, and to keep the things in their minds while giving the answers whatever they have learned in the class, right? This is an example from 8th class chemistry book, uh, that is structure of atoms. This is your competency based question. A diagram shows an atom of six atom with six protons, six neutrons, six electrons. Based on the number of protons, which of the following element does this atom represents? This is a example of competency based question. This is the traditional, which of the following is correct definition of atom's nucleus? All right. So you have been given, you're going to give four different options here. Options are given. One will be correct and three will be distractor. So we have already discussed about the checklist. So please go through it, and here you can see that the difference. Uh, when it comes to competency-based question, it requires application and critical thinking. This question goes beyond the simple recall by asking student to analyze a model and apply their understanding of atomic components to identify the correct element. It assesses their ability to connect theoretical knowledge to a visual representation, and external references are there, that is periodic table is there. Evaluation basis, a competency based question evaluates the student's ability to use their knowledge in a new context. Here we will try to use them their skills such as analysis, interpretation and application of concepts. Once again, please go through Bloom's taxonomy. This is an example of traditional MCQ, that is, which of the following is correct definition of an atom's nucleus? Four options are there, and one is relies on rote memorization. Again, rote memorization hai. This question simply asks for a definition. Well, if it is not a competency based question, I hope कि there is no problem in it, है ना? कोई इसमें problem नहीं है. But while framing competency based question, we have to keep these things in our mind, uh, that we need to evaluate their thinking skills, evaluate their interpretation, application, analysis. not just a rote memorization, right? Okay, this is an example of chemistry, and in the next slide, what do we have here? This is your competency based MCQ. This is a competency based MCQ. This is traditional MCQ, and it is from again from class 8th, and topic is urbanization. As you can see that in competency based question we are giving a stimulus. A family moves from a rural village to a large city seeking better job opportunities. They find a small apartment but struggle with the high cost of living and crowded public transportation. Which of the following is the most likely long term environmental consequence of this type of migration? Right. So here four options are there. One will be the correct one, and another will be the another three are the distractors. Here you are giving a stimulus to think about it. Okay, one family is moving from village to urban area. Here, what is the movement of the people from rural areas to urban area is called. So here you are just asking them to write the name of that particular movement. Here you are giving them a chance to think about, right? Options are not given here because it's a straight away a name. Options, definitely one will be the correct one, three will be the distractor, and while framing we need to check the checklist in the earlier slides that I've shown you. Evaluation based on the competency principles, measure high order thinking skill again, contextualize the and relevant, assess problem solving if it requires students to think critically about the challenges associated with the rapid urban growth, aligning with the principles of competency based education. Again, uh, I'm telling you that all will depend upon your lesson plan. हर चीज आपके lesson plan के ऊपर depend करेगी, and while framing the learning outcomes, what you want that your students must learn. So if you are preparing each and every single thing with the help of this, then definitely you are following competency based education and you are developing critical thinking amongst your students. This is a measure lower order thinking skills. ये evaluation है इस question की. तो this question is direct recall question. It tests whether the student remember a specific. तो again rote memorization के ऊपर है. Here you are giving them a chance to think, to evaluate the situation, and to assess the situation, right? But here you're just asking them to write the name. This is the last slide, and here I have given you an example of a maths competency question regarding competency-based question regarding maths, right? One is the answer, and other are the distractors. Uh, well, the thing is that while preparing these questions, we need to follow the checklist. We need to follow the principles, and please go through the Bloom's taxonomy. And stimulus is mandatory while framing the competency-based question, right? Uh, all the things I have already discussed with you. Hope this video will help you while framing the competency based question. Thank you very much.